In this Map Suite MVC Edition sample app walkthrough, we're going to show you how you can plot a point on the map using a latitude and longitude value. So here we've got our sample with just a basic World Map Kit background map, and over here on the left we've got a couple text boxes that contain our longitude and latitude coordinates, and then a plot a point button. If I go ahead and click this plot a point button, you'll see now we've got a marker here, or a point displaying on the map where that location is. So let's take a look at the code and so we can show you how to implement this in your own application. So let's start with the view source code, and we've got a little JavaScript, little HTML here with our latitude and longitude text boxes and our button, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. But let's start down here where we're initializing the map when the application is loaded. So here we're just adding it to the map, we're setting our map unit, and we're zooming it into the area that we care about. In this case it's pretty much North America. And then we're adding the World Map Kit WMS web overlay to the custom overlays collection. So that's setting our base map up. And then down here we're creating an in-memory feature layer, and that's what's going to hold the point that for our longitude and latitude values. And we need to give it a style, and in this case we're going to use a custom bitmap to represent that point. So we're going to tell it the point type we want off the default point style is a bitmap. And of course, if you didn't want to use a bitmap, you can use all the other built-in styles of, the circles, the squares, diamonds, etc. And then we're going to set the image of that default point style to the image we want. In this case, it's that United States PNG one that you saw a little bit earlier. And we're going to apply that to zoom level 1 to 20. So at this point, nothing's been added to the map with the longitude and latitude value. We're just setting up the layer that will eventually hold that location and telling the map control how we want to style it when anything is added to this this in-memory feature layer. And then we just go ahead and add that layer to a dynamic overlay on the map and render the map out accordingly. So in this sample, most of the action happens when the user actually clicks the plot a point button. So let's take a look at that next. And you'll see on the on-click event of that, we're calling the button plot point click, which is a JavaScript method. And up here is that JavaScript. And what we're getting here is we're just getting the X and the Y values out of the text boxes, reading those into some variables. And then we're going to do an AJAX callback using the AJAX call action off of the map control. And this is all a client-side API. And tell it what controller we want to use and what method on the controller we want to call. In this case will be plot point. Then pass in a couple parameters for the X and Y value, and then tell it what we want to happen once the AJAX callback is completed. In this case, the only thing we're going to do once it's completed is redraw the dynamic overlay so we can show the point on the map, and we're doing that all client side. So let's go take a look at this plot a point method on the server so you can see what's happening there to actually add the point to the in-memory feature layer. So to do that, we're going to go to the controller source. And inside of here we've got our plot a point method. We just do a basic check to make sure we got a valid map reference. Get the X and Y out of the arguments that were passed in. So you can see that's the arguments collection that this method takes. And we're going to get a reference to our dynamic overlay, which contains our in-memory feature layer that we set up on the initial load of the map. So we get a reference to that as well. Then we go ahead and create a new feature using the X and Y values from the arguments passed in. And once we got that point feature, we just go ahead and add that to the in-memory feature layer using the internal features.add method, and then giving it an ID and passing in that feature accordingly. So this code right here is actually taking that X and Y value, creating a feature out of it, and adding it to the in-memory feature layer. And then the last step is this just gets returned to the client, it refreshes the dynamic overlay, and you get what you see here with that point being displayed with the symbology that we defined early on when the map is loaded. I hope this sample app walkthrough has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, or you can post them directly on our discussion forums at thinkgeo.com/forums. Thank you for watching.